What's up, guys? It's the Wolf. All right, so what do we have going on today? We're going to be talking about the name change, separating the straw man from the living man, the legal juridical person in the public sector from the one in the private. Now, this will be an ongoing thing until we have all of the understandings, figured out. Till then, this is going to be an introductory course on how to do it. So if you haven't watched the other videos, I would highly suggest you do that first. You can always check them out at either blacksite32.com or on the main YouTube channel under either @ the Badwolf or / James C. Lovett. All right, now, the name. So we now know that the name or anything in all capitalized letters represents a distinct and different jurisdiction than the private side. The private side is the private sector, where you're either a foreign national, these are their words, or you're a non-resident. All right. So as we look at Black Law's dictionary, number 11, the deluxe version, the word capitalis or capitalis. This means to be of a crime, punishable by death, loss of liberty, or the loss of citizenship. The loss of citizenship has to do with capitalis. Also to be decapitated. And we know what that means. Number 2, historically, of a person or a judicial proceeding that is principal or chief. Capitalis or capital is custos, C-U-S-T-O-S, a chief warden or magistrate, loosely a mayor. Okay, so custos, custody, custodian. So a magistrate is somebody who is a custodian over something. In this case, trustee, possibly the beneficiary. So as we drop down to capitalization, 1860, the act or process of capitalizing or converting something into capital. Now, we all understand capital to mean either all uppercase or financial money, right? So in this case, is it both? Is the capitalization of one's name or the capitalization of a word that happens to have the same name as you, that you operate? Is that the turning into money, capital, credit? It also means the act of the amount or sum resulting in this act or process. So once again, a sum, summary judgment. The total amount of long-term financing used by a business, including stocks, bonds, retained earnings, and other funds. Par value of a corporation. Now, once again, we're going to be reading my favorite little section here. Okay, which is Capitis. What's the hold on? Capitis diminutio. Okay, a diminishment or alteration of a person's legal status. So if somebody can have a legal status, that means they can have a non-legal status, which means in the private. Okay, but they're not going to put it all right here. So as spelled, Capitis diminutio, and then it says C, then in capitalized letters, DECAPITEMINUTIS. All right. Capitis diminutio is the destruction of the caput or legal personality. Capitis diminutio, so to speak, wipes out the former individual and puts a new one in his place. And between the old and the new individual, so there's an old and a new individual that is made when you accept the all caps name. It says it right here. Legally speaking, nothing in common. So you, with your name in all caps, legally speaking, have nothing in common with the all lowercase, and it is, you've gone from public or from private to public, and they are not the same. A juristic personality, okay, so look up juridical person. We already did this. May be thus destroyed in one of the three ways. Loss of status and liberty, loss of status civitatis, a little rusty on my Greek here, or no, Latin, excuse me. This is Capitis media, a severance from the agnotic family. So all upper and lower, and all minimum, or all minor. All right. I know we've covered that before, so let's see if I have any other goodies here. All right. Now let's show you guys so you can see it for yourself. Capitis diminutio, a diminishing or abridgment of a personality. To cross over, bridge over something. Yeah, you don't need that. You've got this now. This was a loss or curtailment of a man's status or aggregate of legal attributes and qualifications. There was three kinds of this. Maxima, which is the most loss. Okay, became a slave. Or you could lose all your rights of a citizenship and the family, or a loss of status. This occurred where a man lost his rights of citizenship, but without losing his liberty. Wow, there you go. All right. Let's go to the next piece here. So now this is because this is going on all around the world, or so we believe. This piece comes from Canada. So it's a Canadian rights researcher, Russell Porisky. Separating, talking about the natural person versus the legal fiction. So it's not just us doing it down here. All right. So they got a Canadian dictionary where they talk about it. And he talks about the black laws. Diminutio, diminutio maxima, diminutio media, and diminutio minima. Which is why when you go into court, you use this one, because this is sui juris, which means of his own free right, not under any legal disability. So when you use your name in all capitalized letters, you have a legal disability. And here, right here, boom, this is what I'm looking for. Out of the way, little thingy. All right, so represented here, Capitis diminutio maxima. Maximum loss of status through the use of capitalization. For an example, John Doe or Doe John, which is the highest or most comprehensive loss of one's status. Ouch. Swept away all of his rights and citizenships and all family rights. You've got nothing. You've been stripped of everything. This comes from abodia.com and their law articles. You guys can see that. All right, I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing, but you get the idea. U.S. law operates on the person, the capitalized letter legal entity, straw man. Is what they were trying to tell us in The Wizard of Oz. the straw man, which is that name, the tin man, which is the number. Okay. All the characters there all played a part in what's going on with this behind the doors kind of in front of your face thing. All right. So now that we kind of broke down a little bit about that and what the goings-ons is, now it is to be understood that you have a legal side. So you've got a private side that you've never exercised, and you've got a public side that you've always been using. Now, the public has always been there. It's called the private sector. All right. You can look it up. Once again, never heard anybody breaking it out like this. So you're going to start to see and hear more people using it. That's what it is. It's the private sector. There's a public sector, and then there's a private sector. So everything that the public officials do for us is in the public sector. And then we become public, juridical, federalized state and federalized and state employees of the U.S. corporation with that legal name. So if you truly want to be private or have a private side, you're going to need to either get rid of some, half, all, whatever that is, that's up to you, but of your legal person. Doesn't mean get rid of legal person. That's up to you. It's your own choice. I'm not condoning anything, keeping it or getting rid of it. Just giving you guys information. I personally would say I recommend keeping it because if you need to do legal things, you've established that you can have those benefits and privileges in the legal arena. Otherwise, to them, you're foreign national, private sector, private natural person. You don't get a say so in their things, such as voting for the president. Okay. Some of the benefits that the state and whatever else provides are for legal persons. A legal person is the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. Anything you apply for, you become, but your inherent rights or inalienable rights are protected by the Bill of Rights. Okay, your Constitution for the United States of America. So, how do we separate that? Well, in general, you have your all caps name. So, what did it say in there? Your all lowercase name is your private name. Now, because of the resemblance between that and the all caps, most people don't understand there's a difference there legally. There's a legal difference. Okay. So, it is highly recommended to distance yourself in the first ways that you can, which is to utilize your given name. So for instance, if my legal name in all caps is James C. Lovett, if that is your real name, then my given name would be James, say, Cash of the Lovett Nation, the nation of Lovetts, the Lovett Empire, the, Levitica, the house, the clan, nation, tribe, whatever it is. Castle de la Lovett, whatever you want to call it, that's you. Or you can create your entirely new, different, separate private identity. Okay? You don't have to base it off of the name that your parent gave you. In common law, you can change your name, which is private, at any point in time. You are the master of your domain. You are the master of your vessel. This is your vehicle, your vessel. Okay? Your soul's in there driving it. I want to drive it on the freeway. I'm in love with the pink cat. Okay, anyway. So you can control it. Now, if you're going to do legal things, you need to use your legal name. Now, if you want to change your legal name, you have to go to the courthouse, petition it, and I think between 30 to 45 days, as long as there's no objections or you don't have anything outstanding that they think you're going to try to run or hide from, they will change it. Interesting. So if you have something pending that they don't want you to dodge, they won't let you change your name. Interesting. Okay, so make sure you clear up all of your things before trying to get a court-based name change for your legal person. Private side, that's all yours. Okay, so how can you do that? Well, like we talked about in the one video, you can start changing over your name on such things as your electric bill, your credit cards, add yourself as an authorized user with whatever name you're going to use, and use those things. We talked about the passport, having them mail the file with your name on the first page for the care of over the address. You've got some more things coming. Now you are building up your private side, your private name. Okay. Also, we talked about the use of the DS-60 for the passport process and changing your name that particular way as well. And creating an affidavit of identity and getting that notarized. We talked about all that stuff. So those are a number of different ways. And there might even be some other ways that I haven't learned about. So once again, as always, if you guys have any tips, tricks, techniques that you guys have vetted and that work religiously and been time tested and proven, by all means, you're welcome to send them my way. All right. But in general, also keep in mind when you guys email me, don't send long paragraphs of whatever else. I don't do court cases. I don't do bonds. All we do is provide a little education and entertainment, informational purposes only. I provide some tools. What you guys do with them is up to you. I take and assume no responsibility. And as always, if you guys see anybody using any of my materials, likenesses, logos, and whatnots inappropriately or negatively, defamationally, then hit that report button over there and report them. Thank you in advance. All right. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have a private side? Well, they're to have something where the government or the state is not involved in your business. So let's take a quick look. Shazam. Okay, so once again, right here, the private sector, the part of the national economy that is not under direct government control. You have no power here. I believe that the private sector is good enough to adapt to the changes in the global demand, blah, 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 blah. Okay? The private sector is part of the economy, sometimes referred to as the citizen sector, which is owned by private groups, usually as a means of establishment for profit or not profit. So remember, you can be taxable in the private and not taxable in the private. And in the public, you can be taxable and non-taxable. So once again, guys, it all starts with jurisdiction. Okay? Where are you operating? So if you're always in the public, you really can't enjoy anything in the private, such as right to travel or whatever else, because your whole public side, you're trying to drag that into the private. You need a private name. You need a private entity. You can even create a private company that's tax exempt to operate your life or whatever you want to do. There's lots of ways to move. All right. Private sector, part of the economy that's run by individuals and companies, not the government. So we're entitled to have our private side. Okay, so private sector versus, or public sector versus private sector. Private sector, households, businesses, and organizations. Now, even Walmart is actually considered a private company in the private sector. So is Amazon. But then, so too are small mom and pop operations. Public sector, which is what they bring us into. Let's take a look here. Government owned, government controlled, or affiliated organizations. Government, the states. Is this a state owned or operated thing? Then guess what? That's public sector. Do you guys provide a service to the general public? Public sector, usually for companies. Education, security, safety, welfare, the legal system, natural resources, public transportation, infrastructure, food security, social housing, health services. IRS, FBI, Department of Labor, unemployment, police departments are in the public sector, fire, children, family services. So though these are in the public sector, you do not, these are typically not, these are not, how should you say, these are sub corporations operating underneath their jurisdiction, but these are not direct government agencies. That's why over here it says, or government affiliated organizations. All right. So then they also have non-government organizations. All right. So there you have it. A little bit more information. So what can you do in the private? People are like, well, what's the benefits of? Well, that's up to you. I can't tell you what, and first of all, these are your freedoms and rights. I suggest you check out the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, so you can get to understand why the Supreme Court is the reigning law, constitutional law, superior law over all of them. Everybody who's a major player who plays with the government has agreed to these things. Unless you're truly private. If you're truly private, then you're doing your own thing here, and you're not subject to certain things. So that's it, guys. Just a little bit more information. If you truly want to be private, then you need to start building up your private side, because dragging your legal name over into the private, it's not a good thing. Okay, you're mixing jurisdictions, mixing things up. That's why people are having problems. All right. So once again, one more thing about being in the private sector is knowing who and what you are and closing out your contracts and agreements, updating them, whatever you need to do. It's up to you. You want to live all the way into private, 100%. Most people don't and can't. It's nearly impossible. That's why all these gurus out here, I'll live 100% in private, while they're talking on YouTube, while they're still taking Federal Reserve notes, while their bank accounts have not been changed over to a zero interest bank account, and they're still, yeah. So at least I'm keeping it honest. Still have those things, not all the way in the private. All right. So, but yeah, a majority of what you do, you can exist in the private, but you cannot mix the two. Okay. Otherwise, you're in purgatory. Can't mix heaven and hell. All right. Leave your legal name on the legal side, public name or private name on the private side. That's it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. That is it for now. I've got a ton more books to go through. We will have updates with on Black Site 32 for files, purchase and for free. And we've got some new blogs up and information. You can now subscribe to the blacksite32.com newsletter. We haven't printed anything yet, but we're trying to get some people in there. So I know I had that off for a while, but that's back on. All right. And all the other information and places where you can find are out in the various groups. Once again, if you guys do see me or somebody you think is me in one of these groups or whatever else, I will never, ever, ever, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves who are doing it, first of all. And secondly, the people who are sending money in, because you guys are sending fake James Badwolves out there, considerable amounts of money, and not even sending them to me, the real one. I don't even know what to say about that. Apparently, these guys are doing a better job of being me than me. So understand, guys, I will never ask you for any money if it's not through Black Site 32 for a product. That is it. I will never make any side deals. I will never provide you with something where, oh, hey, here's the inside thing. Just send me some money. It won't happen. I don't do business that way. That's somebody who's been scammed over the years, way back in the day. I'm not going to scam you. So don't suddenly go, hey, I just sent you like $2,500 and you haven't gotten back to me. And then you're going to email me here, but you're going to trust some random claiming to be me with a different whatever, using my picture and all that stuff. People. I didn't even think I was famous enough to have somebody actually imitate and try to scam people with my stuff. Nope. Even if I'm in the group, message the main one. I got moderators. They're in there all the time. That's what they're there for. All right. I will never ask you for money. I'll never ask you for anything other than some good information, some inside tips, tricks, and techniques, processes that work and have been vetted, time tested, and proven. And to say a prayer for me. I mean that's about it. I'm not going to ask you. I know I tease on here about you guys send me donations, which are always welcome. But send it directly through anything that's on my site, Black Site 32. If there's no link for it or whatever else, then it doesn't exist. Okay. If you place an order and then you get something from, an email that says James or some other different name, that's probably me because I've got like 12 different ones. All right. But that's also because you place an order with a legit source like Black Site 32, and then I'm just responding from one of my accounts. All right. But if you get a random one, I don't care if it says this, that, and the other, like the only legit one is like James C. Lovett at yahoo.com. Okay. I've got some other ones, but that's about the only one that I will openly say that like I vouch that is me, and it's at Yahoo. Okay. I don't trust any other ones from somewhere else. Black Site 32. All my business is done through there. Okay. That's it. So don't be trusting these people out there in the groups and whatever else and setting up pages pretending to be me and whoever else. Guys people out there making more money on my name than I am. What the? So please be safe and careful when it comes to everything normally in life anyway. Protect your children. Monitor what they're watching. Take care of yourselves, what you eat, what you watch, where you sleep, who you talk to, who you mess with. And that's about it. So take care. I'll talk to you guys later. Badwolf's out.